Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the BNS podcast. Today, my guest is a familiar face. If you're anywhere in the DMV area, you must have seen this brother grinding and pushing and trying to make sure that everything in the energy space happens. Welcome to the Broken Nut Shadows for the first, but hopefully not the last time. My brother, my friend Augustus, aka your energy guy. What's up, brother?
Wow, thank you so much. Thanks for having me on here. I've watched several episodes of Broken, Not Shattered, and it's just been really inspiring. Really inspiring. Thanks for having me once again.
Oh no, it's my pleasure, bro. How you doing today, man? How's everything coming
Doing
along?
very well. Doing great. Everything's good. We thank God.
It is a cold weekend in this part of the world.
Oh yeah. Like I've said to a few of my friends this weekend, I hope you have solar. I hope you're ready to go, because without solar, like the threat has been, you will lose power. So
Oh my God!
so
a true businessman. You have to plug in your solar business, man. Because I know that with expecting about 30 inches of snow, and anything can happen with 30 inches of snow. You know, been around here for so long, all of a sudden, boom, power is gone.
Power goes out, yes.
But your solar will kick in. So the way it goes. So if you don't have solar, this is a guy to meet. Just follow him online. Look at him under YEG Solar Solutions LLC. He's the president and CEO of the company. Augustus, welcome to the Broken Not Shattered podcast.
Thank you,
bro. Today we're going to discuss about a few things, and this cuts across personal life, business. It cuts across relationships, health-wise. The topic for today is small shifts, lasting changes. When you hear the word small shifts and lasting changes, what comes to your mind?
Discipline.
Okay.
Discipline. And discipline because, it takes discipline to be consistent with the small shifts.
Right.
You're already setting your ways at 25, 26, 30 maybe, and you just want to do something different. You want to change a part of your flow, your daily flow. It takes a lot of discipline to inculcate that into what you're trying to do. So discipline.
Wow. It's I agree with you on the discipline part. And another word that comes to my mind is consistency, right? Because if you're consistent, so take for instance, and this is for me, you, and our audience. Let's talk about it from a relationship perspective, right? If there is poor communication in your relationship, and you become very intentional to gradually and daily change that habit of poor communication by making those changes that you need to make to communicate better in that relationship, over time, what you end up doing is strengthening that relationship.
Yeah.
I am a great example of someone who has had those issues in the past when it comes to comms. I thought I was a very great orator, and I can speak well and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to communication, it's a personal thing, right? It's not a one thing fits all. Because if one size fits all, then people communicate differently. You have to understand the person's love language. You have to understand what turns them on, what gets them excited, what puts them off. If you think, okay, you did it with ABC, and so it's going to work with DEF, then it doesn't work that way. Because all of us are, created in a very wonderful way, uniquely created by God, and so we're wired differently. Our experiences, how we grew up, our experiences in school, in the community, it's all different. And so you have to be very intentional to ensure that those habits are changed. So I started making personal habits changes in my own world, first of all, for myself. And then gradually I became a better communicator, learned how to respect people's space when they want, when they need their space. I'm very big on barriers. I think people should not cross people's boundaries.
Boundaries.
You know, so no matter who it is, whether you're my spouse or you're my sibling, there's certain boundaries you shouldn't cross. I don't expect you to open my mail and read my mail unless I give permission to open my mail and read my mail.
Yes.
You understand? So things like that. If I say to you, I don't want to talk, it's okay. I don't want to talk. I can come around to it later on when I feel better. But I became better in my communication and better in my relationships. So, so I really agree with this small shift and lasting changes. How about you? Can you remember anyone you've actually taken part in business-wise, health-wise, relationship-wise, or even personal growth?
Yeah. So I share this freely all the time. In 2018, I fell into a bit of depression, and so I had just moved to the US in 2016, and 2 years down the road, I was like, you know what? I left all of this in Nigeria, and I'm coming out here, and this is what I'm going through. I was just like, in that zone, and I just started eating unhealthy. I was really, really unhealthy. And before I knew it, I was 365 pounds. I had a doctor's check one day. I'd never been to the hospital until January 2024. And the doctor looks at me and says, look, if you don't do something about your weight and how you eat and what you eat, you are going to be diabetic, because you're pre-diabetic right now. You're just borderline diabetic. And I looked at myself, I was scared. I was like, you know what? This can't be me. I love my life too much to be that person. And I made up my mind to change how I live. I wake up in the morning and say a prayer on the go. Now, intentionally, if I have to wake up at 6 a.m., I wake up an hour earlier, because I wake up at 5, I wake up at 4:30, typically at 4:30, start my day at 5, and my day starts with a 6-mile walk. But my day doesn't start with a 6-mile walk. My day starts with a prayer, and then it's a routine. Make the bed, because I wanted to inculcate that. Also, I wanted to help my waist side, my waistline. So I needed to bend over more and be able to stand upright. And it's like stretching for me. So I get up in the morning, get on my knees, say my prayers, stand up again, bend over, make the bed, and then have to put on my running shoes and I start my walk. That became my routine in 2024. And by the time I didn't want to check my weight because I was scared. I checked my weight in December 2025, and I had lost 50 pounds.
Whoa.
Yes, I had lost 50 pounds, thankfully so. And, I told someone today, I don't want to check my weight until March again, because I'm running a course right now that I want to lose 20 more pounds. I want to try my best, turn all this fat to muscle,
right.
Just, do my best.
Kudos.
Yes, sir. It's a lot, and because one thing I did not want to do throughout, this entire process is to either go under the knife or take any medication just so that I could lose weight. I really just wanted to be disciplined, change the culture, change, how I eat, what I eat, let go of certain lifestyle indulgence that I would typically want to, indulge in, and just, focus on myself, and that is exactly what I have done in the last year and a half, thereabouts.
That is fantastic. That is great news.
Yes, sir.
Augustus. It takes a lot to actually get to that point, like they'll say, it's like a rude awakening,
It is.
Yeah. And I think the doctor must have been very kind to actually tell you that it was about diabetes, because most doctors will tell you, hey man, if you continue like this, you're going to pack up, you're dead, and really, honestly, it's about what we eat and what goes in that actually
Yes.
affects that. So well done. Kudos.
Thank you.
Yeah, keep it up, man. Don't give up. If there's anybody out there who's also struggling with their weight, you might not be before you start talking about Augusto's weight. Augusto's about 6'4", if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, 6'5".
6'5". There you go. So he's a big guy all around, right? So yeah, with that kind of weight, and if he's got his act together, he'll be playing American football and making some billions. So don't start talking trash now. If you're so those are the guy who used to do his sports. I went into NHS one time. He has to use the weight. So if you're out there, you're struggling, whatever it is, trust me, I've been there myself. Just change those. Just incorporate, like Augusto just said, a little small shift in your daily routine, shift in your daily habits. If you normally eat early in the morning, heavy breakfast with the bacon and sausages and all that juicy stuff, just wait and say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to rush my breakfast. I'm going to have my breakfast at 10, or I'm going to have it at 12 noon. Or if I do want to have it in the morning, it's going to be like a smoothie, something nutritious. And just that's a little small habit can actually help you lose a lot of weight. My cousin who was on last week does this intermittent fasting, and he says it works, and he's quite fit when it comes to how he conducts himself. And I've picked up that habit myself. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I haven't eaten all day today, and it's just intentional, just for me to turn myself down, clear my head. Also, I tell folks that another good thing for you, if you get to a certain age, you don't want to really go jogging. You just go walking, like you said.
Take walks.
Take long walks, and then if you want to increase the speed, do brisk walking, and that little shift would actually change and create lasting results. Because if you do anything drastic and big, after a while you burn out, and then you go back again to where. If you just make it a small habit, wow! Kudos to you, brother. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
For me, I think one of the things that I do, especially in my own personal growth, I've come to realize that I don't need to make any drastic changes, right? I don't need to make any very drastic changes to make maximum impact. I just need to make a very small shift or a small change and be consistent with that small change. And then gradually I see the improvement, I see the change, I see the transformation, and then I see that impact that I was trying to accomplish. In everything I do, I've tried to incorporate all those little increments at small places to actually help us. Augustus, let me not take up all this time and just talking, because I know I have you here for a reason. Let's talk business.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk business. Somebody's out there listening to us and wondering, what do I do with myself? This is a new year. How do I start my own business? What do you think would be the first thing someone should do if they want to start a business? Based on what we're talking about, small shifts and lasting changes.
Yeah, find something that not only challenges you, but something that you would love to do. So if you love to, for example, if you love to meet people, if you love to speak with people, get to know people, start a sales organization, start a consultancy, business. If you don't like meeting people, what are you doing in that industry? What are you doing in that business? Because dealing with people is one of the hardest things you can do, because you have different people, different character traits, different thought processes, and you have to also develop a lot of patience. Patience in yourself. You have to be patient with yourself. It's very, very important, because a lot of times we come in with our goals, and most of the time our goals might just be our vision in the first place, and your vision is always long term. If you want to set goals, you have to small pockets of goals that are, that you could sit back and say, hey, I can look back and say, this is how far I've come from yesterday to today because of this action that I took. So next goal is to get to the next step, So be patient with yourself and set those attainable goals, a small, very, very limited and medium type goals, so that by the time you get to the end of year one, you can actually feel the tangibility of your progress, and it's not just about social media. It's also about how you have been able to gain clientele, grow the business, get the business name out there, get your face out there, and how the sort of reception, because you can gauge it, sort of reception your business and your personality, your persona gains when you step out to speak with people about what you do. Wow.
That's some very good advice and very candid. For me, it will be think big, start small. That is how I've always done everything I do. Those folks around me will always tell you the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's my mantra. Think big and start small. Look for the low-hanging fruits. Like you said, find something that you're passionate about, something that you enjoy. If you want to start a podcast, let's just say, and you're good at cooking, start the podcast and enjoy the cooking. You just keep on cooking and show us how to make nice jollof rice and all that great stuff. And if you want to do healthy eating, show us how to eat healthy, especially if that's what you're doing. If you want to start a podcast and you're into fitness, for instance, don't wait until you've got all the ducks in the road. Just go out there and start recording yourself, exercising or doing anything in that space when it comes to fitness, and hopefully put it out there on social media, use the right platforms, and people will just begin to follow you gradually. And always start with your inner circle. I always say that.
Yeah.
They won't support you. They might not buy from you, but start with them, because you learn all the things you need to learn when you start doing business with people around you, because they won't have any regards or respect for you until you now blow. Say, that's my guy. And that guy is so lucky. The guy has to bust his behind to get to what he wants to get. And so that helps us to build those processes. If you want to change a process in business, don't start looking to say, hey, I'm going to start up this big transformational process. You're going to lose everyone. Just go back into the group, inspire your team, look for something slightly small and tweak that process, right? And just stay with it. That simple thing that everybody does every morning. Check your emails, or go onto the platform, sign up, say that you came to work, whatever it is. And then gradually that process now becomes very transformational, and you see the impact.
I tell you, I tell my team all the time, just copy and paste, make it your own. Mm-hmm. So even when you're copying and pasting, you're owning it, and that's where the tweaking comes in. Mm-hmm. What does this guy do that, I know I can't do, but I can do this other thing? So inculcate what you can do into that process. Something I also forgot to mention is, find somebody who's gone ahead of you. It may be your age mate, it may be somebody a year older, but find a mentor, somebody who's done it better, who's gone and made the mistakes they've made, so that you can have guidance. A lot of times, we're too, as human beings, we're too prideful to come and stoop to anybody to say, mentor me, carry me along.
Bro, I don't know about that pride, man, because you see, that pride they keep us.
I tell people, all God never catch you. That's why pride they owe you.
One of my pastor's friends was preaching many years ago in Nigeria, and I heard him, and that is stuck with me. He says, people cannot help your image. If people think you're good and that's the image you give out, then as long as they're concerned, you're good.
Yes.
People can't help your image, but people can help you if you go to them and say, hey, see my situation. The problem is, who are you speaking to, right? If you speak to the wrong person and they now, create extra wahala for you, or they take your business out there, then that's the problem altogether. But if you find someone that you really, really feel that this person has your best interest at heart, my suggestion is go to the person, sit down with them, and let them mentor you. Mentoring sometimes could just be you guys having coffee and he's gisting and you're paying attention. I have mentors in 4 different sectors of my life, right? And one of my mentors spiritually, who is also my pastor, is Pastor Paul Adefarasin. I always say that. I remember back in the days when I was in Lagos, and we always went out with Pastor Paul. There were a few guys who would always pick him. We'd just go out and have lunch with him, right? Or maybe dinner. Or he'll call us to the house. There's a group of us who come to the house for prayer and all that kind of stuff, right? And I noticed that there were some people that would come and they just want to talk. They want to talk. They want to talk. They want to sound intelligent. They want to sound as if to say, they know their onions. But me now, the old man.
Quiet and listen. Be a sponge.
I just would not talk much. I would just listen and listen. The guy is highly cerebral. He's very intelligent. He's very versed in almost every area of life, right? If not every area of life. So why would I now take that 1 hour, 30 minutes to start talking about things that I already know? To impress him? What a waste of time. Instead, I will keep quiet and take that 1 hour to learn all that he's already sharing, plus what I already know. And that was what used to balance me out. What I learned sitting down at his feet those days, it was not even what they were preaching in church, because the preaching was good, but it was those one-on-one times or when we're out in groups and guys are just talking, and I learned so much about how things work in business, how things work in the government, how things work in the private sector, how things work in ministry, because he was very versed like that. So, and all that was mentorship, right? So he doesn't have to take you guys and say, he didn't have to pick, he could have picked anybody.
Yeah.
He granted you access. And one thing I learned quickly was that access opened can become access denied very easily. So you have to treasure and honor greatness when you're in front of it. So yeah, I completely agree with you. We all have to find people who have gone ahead of us, whether they're younger than you, older than you, and they've accomplished something. Try and build a relationship where you can take advantage of that mentorship. It's very, very important. And then listen. Just listen. They might not make sense initially. After a while, it begins to
clarity.
It's just like you and I, how we met, and I kept on listening to you. Yes, you came for business. Yes, you came to hustle. But after a while, I said, you know what? I like his spirit. I like this guy's spirit. He's consistent. He's the kind of guy that you like to have. And so anytime I had an opportunity, I'll say, hey, man, do you want to show up? Do you want to be here? And I kept on, and you kept on responding. And this year is our year.
Amen. I say big amen to that, because a lot of times people think success comes overnight. Right. I'll tell you for free, if you're listening out there, let the shut doors, the doors that are closed in your face, let those doors spoil you. So if a door is shut in my face, I try to find out why. Is it because of capacity? So is it that we can't handle this project, or we can't, do that? I will go back and become that person that can handle that project. I will do what it takes to be that person. So if I have to go back to school, if I have to do a short course, if I have to, grind to the spot where, everybody knows that we can do this, and the beauty of what we do is, and as business owners, is that we deal with diverse organizations, individuals.
That's correct.
And just as organization A has a need, organization B or individual B has a need, but their needs are different. So I treat them differently. Their temperaments are different. You know, I got a call one day, and I could share this because, you know, the man is my friend today. I got a call one day from a friend of mine who said, "Hey, Augustus, I need you to talk to this man. He owns 12 hotels in DC, and he's trying to get solar on those hotels."
Wow.
I'm like, he owns 12. How did he get 12 hotels in DC? That was what I asked. He was like, "Look, Augustus, this man, he's done his due diligence, he's worked his way up, he's earned the status he's on now. He doesn't make the news every day, he's not all over the place, but please talk to him." I said, "Okay, send me his number." He said, "Oh, no, I have him on the other line." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Connect him." And so he starts to curse. He just gets on, "Yeah, is this the solar guy? You need to..." And I stayed calm. And I said, "Sir, tell you what's your availability for tonight?" He's like, "No, I'm busy." I said, "No, I would love to see you tonight. You want to know why? I feel like you have an immediate need, and whoever has messed you up in the past, you know, it's not us, but I would love to see how I can help you starting tomorrow morning.
Wow.
Can I see you tonight, even if it is for 5 minutes?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, I'm at my hotel in DC." And I'm like, "Which of them?" He tells me,
out of the 10, right?
yeah. And he tells me where. I drive down there,
Wow.
meet this Jewish guy, very cool guy, but he was upset when we first spoke. And I walk in with a smile, and he was like, no, you can't be walking in here with a smile." I'm like, "Yeah, I got to walk in here with a smile because that's, you know, this is first meeting."
Yes, sir.
And
You disarmed him.
and we spent 2 hours talking. I left there at midnight.
Wow.
And he's telling me his life story on first meeting.
Wow.
So today, we are very good friends. Like, I call him up and I'm like, "Hey, Brian, I need to get to Glover Park. I need to get to this hotel. Can they give me access?" He's like, "Anywhere you want to go, just go. Ask for this person. Tell you what, I'm sending an email," and they would all get in touch with you.
Man, that's awesome. That is
You know,
access
so
is so
very important. So I treat every client the same. Even if you're high value, quote unquote, even if you own a home or you own 20 homes or 300 homes, I treat everybody the same because the value of our business is in you being happy.
customer. Yeah.
Being happy, you know, and the thing is, as you grow in business, don't tweak anything, don't change anything, just stay the same, just remain on that lane, because your consistency builds the perception people have about you when you're starting up, you know, becomes knowledge. It goes from being a perception to being, "Oh, yes, I know, I can vouch for these people. I can vouch for this person." You know, it becomes knowledge, and you need people to know that you can deliver. You need people to know that you can be trusted with the small projects as much as you'll be trusted with the large projects. And trust me, your business will flourish if you stay taking care of the customer. The customer is your boss.
King, yep.
He's your boss.
King,
yes.
Right? Yeah. Awesome. All right, man. I agree with everything you said. However, though, I slightly vary. No, I don't. I vary. Where when you said stay the same, right? The way you treated the way you ran your business when you had 10 employees, bros, it can never be the same when you have 100.
No.
And it can never be the same when you have 1,000. So the core values can remain the same. I agree on that. But the way business is done,
no, it would have to evolve.
You just have to constantly evolve. Because
it has to evolve, yes.
If you don't evolve, then there's a major problem.
Stagnance. So you become stagnant.
Exactly.
You know.
As we begin to wrap up the podcast this evening, there's something we do. We actually have something called a drop-off question. The person who was on last weekend was asked to do the drop-off question, and they will drop off a question, not knowing who the next guest is going to be, and so you will just have to answer the question. And just to help you out, there's no right or wrong answer. Then after that, you would now have to give us your own drop-off question, so the person who's coming in next week would answer that. So Dr. Ike Nauchi, who's a top psychiatrist in the DMV area,
I know him.
okay, right. He was my guest last week, and this was the question. It says, "Who are the most important people in your life, and what do you do to honor them?" They're listening.
Number one would be my dad.
Just for the record, you only have 1 minute, so you can't spend all day on this.
Number one will be my dad. There are three I'm going to mention, and they're not just the only three people. So number one will be my dad, and I make sure that I keep his good name. In all that I do, it's working with integrity, working with open hands. And, we grew up as a family accommodating people, bringing in people, making sure people are housed and fed. Imagine I grew up with over 25 other strangers that till tomorrow, I call them uncles and aunts, but a lot of them were not related, blood related. Yes, because my dad was that kind of person. My parents were that kind of people. Secondly, will be my children. I have two daughters, and I live my life because I know that tomorrow they're going to go places and say their name, and people will say, "Your dad, where is he? Home? Oh, great. He's a great man." Just so that they can walk into rooms that they don't have to knock to get into. And the third will be my partner, my woman. I listen a lot to her. I don't take a decision without looking in that direction, because I have been through one marriage before.
Right.
And I've learned those lessons.
Tell me about it. I know those lessons.
I've learned those lessons. I know. I've learned those lessons, and I would not want to repeat the same mistakes again. So I listen. We have, I will give you a clear example. This morning, I'm like, "I've missed you, but we live in the same house. We're here together." And she's like, "I know, right? We've just been going and going and going all week." And that's the truth, because we've been going and going and going all week. She's a doctor of pharmacy. She's pretty busy. I get up and just run. I move every day, and it's days like this, and I'm like, you know what? Good thing we're snowed in this weekend. We will get to catch up on our entire week. And
what do you do to honor them? I know you spoke about your dad. You try to keep your good name. For the kids, I guess it's the same thing, correct?
Yeah, kids the same thing. The name.
How about her? What do you do to honor her?
I stay serving. So I believe that the relationships you must serve. I stay serving her, and that's how we're growing. I stay serving. Is I come into the house and she's not home. I fix dinner. I stay serving. I stay providing that service. Just make life lighter, basically.
I like that.
Yes.
That's the ultimate thing. Is I think we're all created to serve others, really, and it's something I enjoy doing. So yeah, well done. All right, we ran out of time, brother. So I won't keep you longer than this. Just use next few minutes and just ask your question for the next guest, and then we can wrap up.
My question is simple. what scares you?
Wow, what scares you? Wow.
What scares you?
You asked me that question earlier. I was telling you what scares me.
What scares you? And what are you doing to rise above that fear?
Yeah, wow.
You know, what scares you? And what are you doing to rise above that fear? Talking about Pastor Paul before we go, you know, Pastor Paul made a statement one day, years ago at Muson Center. You know, he said, I heard it then, and then I heard it again last quarter, towards the end of 2025. And I picked my phone and I started typing, and I kept it. And that has led to what I'm doing in the month of January. I'm studying the book of Proverbs in the month of January.
That's what I'm doing too. That's exactly what I am. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Okay, I'm scared.
I'm studying Proverbs. One day, I take one chapter every day.
One chapter a day. Okay. Yeah, he says excuses are the tools of the incompetent. They are monuments of nothingness. And those that use them are not wise.
Oh, yes.
There's no excuse for non-performance.
Exactly.
So get up off your feet.
And stop making excuses.
And stop making excuses.
Man, Augustus, thank you. I can tell this is not the last time I'll see you. So I'll get ready to get my staff to book you in again for the next session. Please, when it comes to your solo, take a minute. I know we really run out of time. Tell our people where they can just find you. If there's a phone number or something, just give it out until we can wrap up the show.
Pretty straightforward. You can reach us by sending us an email. It's gosolar@Your Energy Guy. As you can see on your screen, it's yourenergyguy.com.
Okay.
Or call us up 571-494-2117, 240-564-9993, and check out our website, www.yourenergyguy.com. On there, you can book us for a day and time that's convenient for you, and we'll be there.
All right. Okay, Augustus. You can't say I never helped you out with your business. I give you.
I will never be able to say that. You know why?
We have about 1,000 people watching. And then thousands more come back later to watch this podcast. So,
amen.
Being able to jump on the call and be my guest today. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
As we wrap up the show, wherever you are, just join us on the podcast. Look at all our social media handles and just click like and send the notification button, and we'll get to know what's going on in your own world too. Until then, peace, love, and more grace. Take care, and God bless you.
God bless.
It's a wrap, buddy.